You already know something is wrong. Not in a way that's easy to explain to someone else. Not in a way that shows up on paper. On paper, everything looks fine. Actually, it looks better than fine. It looks impressive. But behind that, there is something happening inside you that you have been trying to push through, work around, and quietly manage on your own for longer than you probably want to admit. This video is not for everyone. If you are someone who has never really pushed yourself, who is okay with average, who does not lie awake at night running through everything that still needs to get done, you can stop watching right now. This is not for you. But if you are the kind of person who has always raised the bar, who holds yourself to a standard most people around you cannot even see, who has built real things and achieved real results but still feels like you are somehow falling behind, then what I am about to share with you is going to feel uncomfortably familiar. Here is something most people never talk about. The higher you climb, the lonelier and heavier it gets, not because you are weak. Exactly the opposite. You have been strong for so long, carrying so much that your nervous system has quietly started to buckle under the weight of it. And the most painful part is that nobody around you even sees it happening because you are still performing. You are still delivering. You are still showing up. But something inside you is starting to fracture. Let me paint a picture for you. Think about the moment your alarm goes off in the morning. Before you even open your eyes, the list is already running. The emails, the decisions, the responsibilities, the expectations. You do not ease into the day. You launch into it. And by the time you get to the end of it, exhausted, you sit in the quiet, and instead of feeling accomplished, you feel this strange, hollow anxiety, like no matter how much you did today, it was not quite enough. Like the finish line keeps moving. And you tell yourself tomorrow will be different, you will get ahead of it, but tomorrow comes and the same cycle repeats. This is not a productivity problem. This is not a time management problem. This is something much deeper, and I want you to understand something important right now. The very thing that made you successful, your drive, your relentless standards, your refusal to settle, has also become the thing that is quietly eroding you from the inside. There is actually a name for this dynamic in psychology. High achievers are uniquely vulnerable to a specific kind of breakdown that is invisible to everyone around them because they are wired to compensate. They are wired to push through. When someone who struggles with pressure hits a wall, it is obvious. They slow down, they step back, they show signs. But when a high achiever hits a wall, they accelerate. They work harder, they add more discipline, more structure, more pressure. And from the outside it looks like strength. From the inside, it is a quiet emergency. Think about this for a second. Research across high-performance psychology consistently shows that sustained pressure without adequate recovery does not just affect your mood or your energy. It physically changes how your brain processes information. Your ability to think clearly, make decisions, regulate your emotions, see possibilities instead of threats, all of it degrades under chronic stress in ways you might not even fully recognize while it is happening. You just notice that things that used to feel exciting now feel heavy. Ideas that used to flow now feel stuck. Relationships that used to feel easy now feel like one more demand. If you are in that place right now, I need you to hear this. There is a program linked in the description of this video that has helped high-performing people move through exactly this. I am not going to tell you what is in it right now because frankly, if you are the kind of person this is designed for, you already know on some level that you need something different. Not more information, not more hustle, something that actually addresses what is happening beneath the surface. And the truth is, most people who are in the position you are in wait too long. They keep managing it, keep white-knuckling it, and the cost compounds. Every week that passes, the debt gets bigger. Check the description when you are ready. Now let me go deeper with you because I do not want this to stay abstract. I want you to feel exactly what I am talking about. There is a specific kind of pain that high achievers carry that almost nobody talks about openly. It is the pain of feeling like you cannot stop. Not just that you choose not to stop, but that you genuinely feel like you do not have permission to stop. Like if you ease up even slightly, everything will collapse. The business, the family, the reputation, the momentum. So you keep going, and you get good at performing rest without actually resting. You might take a vacation, but your mind never leaves. You might have a slow morning, but the guilt of it hums underneath. You are never fully here because part of you is always managing, always monitoring, always bracing. And here is what that does to you over time. Your body starts sending signals, tension that does not leave your shoulders, sleep that does not actually restore you, a short fuse with the people closest to you, followed by guilt, followed by trying harder, followed by the same cycle. You start noticing that the things you used to love about your work now feel like obligations. Your creativity starts drying up. You find yourself going through the motions with impressive precision, but the spark is gone. The thing that made you magnetic, that made you dangerous in the best possible way, that energy is flickering. And maybe the most painful part of all of this is the loneliness of it. Because you are the strong one, you are the one people lean on. You are the one who has the answers, who holds things together, who makes it look effortless. And so there is nobody handing you a lifeline, nobody checking in on you the way you check in on everyone else. And you have probably gotten so good at saying you are fine that even you have started to half believe it. But you are not fine. And some part of you knows that. And that part of you is why you are still watching this right now. Here is what changes when a high achiever actually addresses this. Not manages it. Not white knuckles through it. Actually addresses it. The first thing that shifts is your relationship with your own mind. That constant noise, that low-grade panic that sits underneath everything, it quiets. Not because your responsibilities go away. Because you develop a fundamentally different way of relating to pressure. You stop being at the mercy of it and you start moving through it with a kind of clarity and groundedness that you probably have not felt in years. People who have been through this process describe it as remembering who they were before everything got so heavy. And here's where the numbers matter. Think about the decisions you make every single day from a depleted, reactive, stressed state versus the decisions you would make from a clear, energized, fully present state. The difference in outcomes is not marginal, it is exponential. Every conversation you have, every strategy you build, every relationship you navigate is either elevated or compromised by the quality of your internal state. When you are running on empty, you are making expensive mistakes. Not because you are not smart. Because you are operating at a fraction of your actual capacity. Think about what a year of operating at full capacity versus half capacity looks like in your actual life. The opportunities you spot versus the ones you miss. The relationships you deepen versus the ones you damage. The work you produce when you are genuinely alive versus when you are just grinding. The gap between those two versions of you is not small, it is everything. And the time dimension of this is critical. Every week you spend in the cycle of chronic pressure, compensation, and depletion is a week of compounding cost. To your health, to your relationships, to your potential, to the version of yourself that you know you are capable of being but have not been able to fully access because you have been too exhausted, too wired, too stuck in survival mode. I have seen people who spent years in this place break through in a matter of months when they finally stopped trying to solve a psychological and physiological problem with more productivity strategies. When they stopped treating the symptom and started addressing what was actually driving it. And what they describe on the other side is not just feeling better, it is performing better. Thinking more clearly than they have in years. Making decisions that actually align with who they want to be. Having energy left at the end of the day for the people and the things that matter most. Feeling like themselves again. That is the real cost of staying where you are, not just the suffering, the unrealized version of yourself, the potential that sits locked behind a wall of chronic pressure that you have just learned to live with. You have spent your whole life investing in your skills, your knowledge, your output, and that has taken you further than most people ever go. But skills and output cannot compensate indefinitely for a system that is running on fumes. The people who perform at the highest level over time are not the ones who endure the most. They are the ones who figured out how to actually sustain themselves while going hard. That is the shift. And it is available to you. If everything in this video has landed somewhere real for you, if you recognize yourself in what I have been describing, then the program in the description is something you should look at today, not next week, not when things slow down, because they will not slow down. Today. The people who are still performing at the level you want to perform at 10 years from now are not the ones who waited until they hit the wall completely. They are the ones who made the decision before the cost became irreversible. You already know what staying in the cycle costs you. You have been paying it. The question is simply whether you are ready to stop.